Hey, and welcome to another episode of Downright Annoyed with Movies, the second episode. And it looks like Michael did find a way to grace us with his presence today. But yeah, so this week we're talking about Tremors, but since this might be the first time anyone's tuning in, basically the premise of this thing is going to be every week, either one of us or the audience chooses a movie to watch, and everybody has to watch it. New rule is you're required to watch the whole thing.
Paul. The entire movie, Paul.
Right.
I did.
So you're required to watch the whole thing. And actually, just let's go ahead and go around. Paul, if you want to start by introducing yourself here.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Paul, and I'm from comicbookinvest.com. And every Monday night, we have a podcast called Tales from the Flip Side. And I haven't been able to be on recently because of work, but my co-hosts have been really good filling in for me in my absence. So check us out. Talk about to go over like what comics we picked up recently and nerd news and other stuff that you can flip to make a few bucks on the side. So join us if you can. Check it out.
Thank you, Paul. And Derek, I'm gonna go ahead and throw it your way to introduce yourself here.
Sure. So can you hear me?
Yes. You have it all worked out, I think.
All right, cool. Well, I'm Derek from Poolside Podcast. We pretty much talk about mostly music, but sometimes dive into movies, more on the casual side of things, not as much as Bored and Annoyed, but that's pretty much mostly what we focus on, and extending it to, I think, video games this year also.
Nice.
Sweet.
Where do we find you? Everywhere, I'm assuming?
Pretty much everywhere. On Twitter mostly right now at Podcast Poolside, because we just do things backward, and Instagram Poolside Podcast, and also on Facebook.
Sweet. Perfect. Yeah, and Michael.
Hey guys, what's going on? I'm Michael from the Downright Nerdy podcast. Me and Jackson started this little venture, and it's been super fun already. We're only 2 weeks into it. But usually I'm actually in my studio, but I got called into work last second. So you're coming from my nice truck here. But you can find us over at we do a weekly pop culture podcast, downrightnerdy.com, and all the YouTubes and Instagrams, Twitters, all that stuff. Pretty much.
Sweet. Well, thank you, Michael. Let me figure out what the hell I'm doing here now again. Hold on a second. Hold on. Wait a minute. What the hell button do I click here? I don't want to be the center of attention. There we go. There we go. Okay. So anyways, this week we watched Tremors. I believe,
my
probably
choice.
Yes, Michael, good job. So let's just give it a little bit of a synopsis here. Actually, it's too long. I'm not going to read this. Basically, it's a small town, and there are some like monster slug creatures that live underground. And basically, Perfection is the name of the town, right? The
population 14.
Yeah, and almost all 14 of them, or are all 14 of them in the movie?
For the most
Anybody
part, yeah.
count?
I think everybody is at least mentioned at one point or another. So mentioned or seen.
Yeah, so basically these slugs surround the town, and they cause problems. They kill a few people here and there, and really fun little bee monster movie. It almost feels like it's something from like the 50s, like an old school, alien type movie. But yeah, I guess what do you guys think? I mean, who wants to start on this? We'll go with Paul.
So,
Paul tried to dodge it last week, so we'll start with him.
I thought it was great. I hadn't seen it in a long time. I watched it with my wife. I talked her into watching it. She hadn't seen it in a long time either. It was as good as funny when they. It's from 1990, so to expect spoilers. I don't know why we have to. Maybe we.
Yeah, this show is always going to be heavy on spoilers. By the way.
Yeah, if you make it past the first minute after the introductions, that's pretty much all spoilers after that point.
Right.
But it was funny when they had the little tongue things. She's like, I remember them being a lot bigger than that. So I just kind of let the movie build, but I thought it was great. It was a good campy movie that didn't try too hard. Practical effects. I think there was the one green screen scene that I remember. But yeah, I thought it was good. It's good, great movie. Wrapped it up good, and the sequel wasn't too bad either.
Oh, did you watch that too today, or what?
No,
Number
I just
two is underrated.
You like number 2, Michael?
I didn't mind number 2. After that, it was completely ridiculous. But I mean, when you think about it, though, it's such a ridiculous premise anyway that it wasn't out of the realm of making it uninteresting or unfun for me watching number 2. Yeah. So yeah, I enjoyed number 2.
That's true. It's like it's kind of I mean, I don't want to call it a stupid movie, but it's kind of a stupid concept. It's like it's hard to break it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like yeah,
exactly.
There's
it's
nothing
like if they don't keep it that's like their status quo. If they veer from that, then I don't like it.
Right?
You know?
No, I was thinking about that too. Like, how refreshing is it to not be told, not be given any explanation for what these things really are, where they came from, any of that?
Yeah, like that.
It's so much easier to watch the movie that way. To me,
yeah.
Like I think it's effective anyways. But Derek, what'd you think?
I enjoyed that. It was like lighthearted. Like if this were made in modern day, it would be like super dark, take itself way too seriously, and some of, I guess, the nitpicks I had with it would be less forgivable. So overall, I really enjoyed it, though.
Okay, what are your nitpicks? This was your first time watching it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
wow.
So what were your nitpicks from a fresh perspective?
Let's see. I have some notes.
Oh, notes.
And I just want to mention SpongeBob totally ripped off this movie.
Okay.
There's an episode.
Go into details, please.
There's an episode where there's this huge worm, and at the very end, they get it to spoiler alert, run off the side of a mountain. As soon as I saw that, I was like, "That's from SpongeBob."
Well, that's hilarious.
There you go.
I'll wait a little bit until we get further into it to give some of my nitpicks.
Okay, I've got one nitpick. There's a scene where, and this is just so stupid. It is a total nitpick, but there's a scene where they trick the Tremors into like following I want to say it's a riding lawnmower, but what is that thing? It's like a 4-wheeler, right? Like an
ATV.
Yeah, I thought it was a lawnmower.
Is it a lawnmower?
Yeah, I think so.
No,
I feel like it's all
ATV.
sand. Yeah. Either way,
whatever.
They get it to follow, and then Kevin Bacon goes and runs and gets in the big tank thing that they're going to take, right? And he like screams like a Ric Flair woo, like a woo, and you're like, yes. And then they cut away and they cut back to him sitting in there, and there's the Ric Flair woo again, and his mouth is just completely shut. So that's the kind of shit where I'm just like, God, it's almost wonderful that that's in there, because it's just like, who gives a shit? It doesn't matter, right? So that's my nitpick. Otherwise, trying to judge a movie based solely on what its goals are, I think it's, probably pretty close to being flawless for what it's trying to do. I mean, there's nothing in it that ever took me out of it. It's fun from the jump,
Yeah, I mean, I think, like I said, I've watched this movie numerous times since I've seen it in the 90s when I was sneaking in, watching my dad watch, because I think 1990, I was 5 years old. And when I first actually saw watching it, I was sneaking in while my dad was watching it in the living room. It scared the living crap out of me when I was a kid. I didn't want to get on my floor. I was standing on the bed a lot. And, watching it as an adult, I still felt like how fun it was to kind of be immersed in that world. It really got me feeling it. When was the last time I had seen this? I think the last time I saw this was maybe about 4 or 5 years ago. And it was one of those TBS, Tremor marathons or whatever, getting ready for Tremors 6 or something like that, whatever.
Is that how many there are? Are there 6 of these?
I think, and I think they're coming out with another one. And what's his name is still in it. With who's Burt Gummer's character or actor?
That's the one who's married to
Reba
Sarandon. Yeah, or to Susan Sarandon. Wow.
Reba McEntire. Yeah.
I don't know that actor's name. He was in wasn't he in he was in some sitcom, like old sitcom, right?
Way back in the day.
All in the Family.
He was also in
maybe
ER.
What was he in?
He was in the medical show ER.
Michael Gross.
He was one of the
Michael Brooks.
he was one of
ER.
that-
I mean, Paul. But then again, Paul. Every single person and their mother has been on ER. I
He was
think.
a
So,
long,
I
he
mean,
was a long, yeah, he was the one character's dad, so it stuck out to me. But
yeah.
But yeah,
he
Now, it-
changed a lot too.
Sorry, Paul, go ahead.
Oh, just that the actor changed a lot. I didn't really recognize him. And the little girl is the little girl from Jurassic Park.
oh
My
yeah.
wife knows.
Yeah, I did notice that. That. But yeah, I mean, I hadn't watched this in at least 20 years. Honestly, this is one where I feel like the second one was the one I've seen the most. That's odd, but I feel like yeah, and I remember I kept waiting for the rock paper scissors scene. I was talking to Paul about this before you hopped in, where the guy tricks his buddy into thinking that rock beats paper before it breaks.
Oh yeah, that's part two. Yeah,
that's part two, right? So
Yeah.
I'm sitting there like, well, wait a minute, these guys
Nope,
both know how
rock,
to play
paper,
this.
paper.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but what I really appreciate about the movie is from the jump, the way that they're introducing the Tremors to the world. It's very fast paced. Like they're running into these spots where things are happening and they're starting to figure out what's going on right away from the beginning. And with the little amount of exposition that they have to do, it's very creatively done. You've got the guy who died up on like the telephone pole. You know, that's like a fun little mysterious thing.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
and you as the audience, you know, even in the 90s, I'm sure they all knew, you know, what was going on, but your characters have to figure that out. And the chemistry between, is it Fred Ward and Kevin Bacon?
Yep.
They're great. Those two.
They are really good. That duo is probably some of the better duos. That almost rivals the duo of like Mel Gibson and Danny Glover, or in Lethal Weapon, right? Like their chemistry is very, very good, and you really feel like they have a good history together.
Yeah, it's too bad
Kevin
Bacon got too big and didn't want to do another
That's
one.
That's exactly what happened, right?
Yeah.
I mean, but hell, at that, you know, for Tremors 1, nobody handled garbage better than they did. It was great.
Right.
You know?
Right. Now you mentioned the effects. Some of the stuff looks dated, but this is one of those movies where because of the sorry, my cat's trying to drink my soda, of course. Because this is one of those movies where it like, oh, we lost Michael, it looks like. But yeah, this is one of those movies where the plot is so cheesy that it almost doesn't matter.
Yeah,
I think it fits with that desert bright the bright lighting and everything, that it's
right.
The effects look great. They don't look too terrible like I've seen in other practical effects movies. I did look it up real quick. Sorry to jump back.
Nope, you're good.
Tremors. There is 6 Tremors movies. Number 6.
Oh my God.
Is called A Cold Day in Hell.
Okay. I almost feel like there's Michael, you've probably seen more of these than anyone here, I would assume.
I think I've seen them all, actually.
Are they fun bad? Like as you go?
They're just bad because after like part 1, once part 3 hits, they really rely on the more cheesy their budget it's clear that their budget was maybe into quarters, and they only got like a quarter of their budget from the first one. And they have that cheesy sci-fi looking kind of CGI, you know, that's probably worse than an N64 game now. And it's I don't know how to explain it, but everything just feels made for TV, like the worst parts of TV movies.
Right. They're all on Netflix, I think, right now. I saw when I looked up Tremors, there were a bunch of them. So maybe I'll dive into a Tremors.
Oh my God. Hey, you know what? Maybe if it lands on me, I might pick Cold Day in Hell.
Oh Jesus.
Oh man. So speaking of that, we don't have the physical wheel here tonight, but there is a website I pulled up.
There is a website.
Wheel Decide.
Well, we can do that, or we were thinking rock, paper, scissors.
Oh shit, that's a good one.
Cool. Maybe let's see. Maybe me and Derek will do best of 5. You guys will do best of 5, and then whoever wins does best of 5 again.
Oh, we're gonna do 5. Let's make it 3. We don't want people
best
to
of
want
3.
30.
Are we doing rock, paper, and scissors?
What's that?
Rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah, right.
Lizard spot.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, Derek, I'm dying to, like, were you watching this movie thinking like, why the hell is this like a cult classic, or did you kind of get it as you were watching it? Like,
yeah, pretty much. Somehow over the span of my whole life, I've never even heard of this movie.
Wow.
And and my girlfriend, she's younger than me. She's like, yeah, I watched that with my dad, just like you all. But yeah, I had never seen this, and just while watching it, I was enjoying it. I came up with like a few alternate names that I'd give this movie, like The Insatiable Worms, or Alien on Earth, or Worms from Harvard, because I guess one of my nitpicks was the part where they just somehow figure out to make the car sink into the ground. It's like, how would they know how to do that?
Well, I mean, they're intelligent beings, Derek. I don't know what do you got here? I mean, I suppose she was in the car's shaking, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe they would have done that with like the boulders at the end, the big rocks, but they like can't. There's too big. So
yeah, they can't lift that much weight. But I think that car scene, I think the reason that they kept attacking her in the car is because that little radio fell down. And down. But as far as figuring out how to sink the car, I don't know.
No, you just go around, dude. It's just like a boat. It's like they're land sharks, man.
That's a good point.
I think that's what they are. I believe, was there not a scene in this? Sorry, it's been since last Sunday since I watched it. I felt like Jaws at times too, where in Jaws, weren't there a lot of like POV sea creature, like, it's coming up on the girl's legs, right?
I don't think there were a lot, but the couple they did were really good that I remember. I can't remember the last time I saw it.
Yeah, and then in this, it's the same. But it's just dirt, which I found fucking funny because I'm like, well, this is hilarious. Like,
which half the time it's above ground, and then the other half it's underground.
Yeah, the camera is in a stick that's sticking in the tremor apparently, and it's just going. But no, I'm glad he picked this one because it gave me that excuse to watch it, and it's a ton of fun. It really is. I mean, it's one where it's kind of difficult to talk about for a long time because there's just not much to it. But that's the strength of the movie, in my opinion.
Yeah, there's not much room to really mess up.
Right. And it's not meant to have, these, it basically has no themes almost whatsoever. I guess you could say like friendship or, not being so shallow with the ladies, Kevin Bacon with his, he only likes the blondes. Although that was pretty cute too at the end when he takes it was
very innocent.
Yes.
Yeah. My wife was stepped out of the room and she came back. She said, "Oh, of course it ate her pants off." And I was like, "No, she had to take her pants off to survive."
Yeah, what happened there again? Why did her pants come off?
Barbed wire.
Yeah, she got caught up in the barbed wire fence, running away, and she's like, "Oh yeah, there's got to be a little TNA in there."
Well, everything in the movie too is really well set up. So there's like the barbed wire scene. You see them like putting it up at the beginning of the movie, and that at some point it's gonna have some sort of an effect in the movie. There's the Pepsi machine that they keep on. It keeps on like rumbling, and that's going to have an effect in the movie. I actually really like the set design of this too. Like, it reminds me of one of those old like westerns where they probably built like you build the town square and it's just the fronts of the buildings. There's probably nothing behind that. It reminded me of like one of those old western, movies. And it's great too how like the one road gets blocked off and they just have no way out of that town.
When I had seen the artwork for this, I thought it was going to be a western actually.
Okay. Where the hell have you been that you have never heard of Tremors, by the way?
I guess not on Netflix.
Oh man. I was pretty happy when I saw it was on Netflix, by the way, but
all six of them are on there.
Are they all there?
Just look.
And I hear there's a TV show too.
Oh my god.
That's what I've heard.
But just seeing like Kevin Bacon like on the cover, I guess I was like, well, this should be pretty decent.
Yeah, and he, you can tell why he kind of made it. He's got that charisma to him.
Yeah.
And by the way, Michael can't reconnect. So thanks for being such a good co-host, Michael. Yeah, I'm looking at you, buddy. But
Tell him
yeah,
to drive to a Starbucks and get on the free Wi-Fi or something.
there you go, Starbucks. Here, I'll text him that. Hopefully, maybe he's watching. I don't know. Hold on.
At least give the YouTube show a thumbs up, Michael.
Right, there you go. Find a Starbucks. That's funny. That's actually a good solution because there's probably a Starbucks every mile across the entire country.
Yeah. But overall, I thought it was a good movie. I like what you said. They didn't have to explain where these creatures came from or go into this big mythology. Just they're there. You're cut off. You got to survive. That's it.
No, I think that actually greatly helps the movie. I really do. I'm a big fan of that. I wish there were more movies like that. The one I thought of recently that is a horrible example of something like this was The Meg. It reminds me of The Meg, but like The Meg has so many different characters and so many dumb little points going on. Like they have to explain to you how the shark was, underground and all that shit. And it gets so convoluted and messy. And it's like, if you're going to do a monster movie, I feel like it needs to be something like this.
Yeah, not just a thin veil in the water, keeping it there.
Yes, right. Well, and that's just it. Like they tried to give a scientific explanation in The Meg, but like, what's the point of giving one? Does anybody give a shit? I don't know. It just seems stupid.
For that type of movie, you can't. Whatever, if you want, you can't give an explanation because you'll never satisfy everybody. It's easier if you just don't.
Right. I would agree. And yeah, it makes for a simpler movie to watch. You can just kind of, that old saying, turn your brain off and have a good time. Yeah. This is a good time when Reba and what's his name are just shooting the shit out of them at that bunker. It's so fun. It's just, and it's like, is it a horror movie? Like, is it supposed to be scary? I guess some people might find this scary.
It scared her when she was younger.
Really? Okay.
When the doctor and his wife got taken, she was like, "No, I don't want those two to die." And she's
yeah.
And when the car is going down, she's like, now I know. I remember why I was terrified of it.
Well, it almost makes you feel like you're a sick fuck because like you're watching this and it's like a fun scene that you're chuckling during, but this woman is being just buried in dirt. Yeah. Like I don't know. It's one of those. It's just a bizarre movie. Did this do well when it came out? That would be another question. Do you have that up? Up there goes the typing. The man is at work.
Yeah. Tremors ended up, assuming this is looks like it grossed 16 million, almost 17 million at the box office.
Okay, and any idea what its budget was?
11 million budget.
So it didn't like crush it.
Yeah, not too bad.
No. So yeah, I would imagine this was one that did better in the video market. Probably a lot of blockbuster trips.
Please be kind. Rewind.
Derek, any other kind of nitpicks on it? Things you didn't like about it?
I guess just talking about it, the nitpicks I had, not so much now because, like you said, the more I guess you try to figure out, it would almost break the movie. And This isn't a movie that is supposed to be taken like too critically. You're just supposed to enjoy it.
Yes.
So just from that stance, I actually waive my nitpicks.
Okay. Yeah, you didn't want us to say you were a crotchety old asshole.
Are you going to tell us what they were, though?
Yeah, let's hear them. I want to hear them.
So, I want to hear them. Kevin Bacon dropped his gun after, I think the first time they saw it or whatever, like he ran out of bullets and they're running and he just throws it.
Yeah, I thought, you're right. At that moment, I was like, keep the gun, you can reload it.
Yeah. And then just how did it not show up sooner? Because like they were there. So when did it decide to show up?
So,
I thought about that too, Paul. No, go ahead, Paul. I want to hear your.
Yes, because I'm very good at making myself.
Yes,
believe.
You're the master. You're the master of this.
And this is why they're like cicadas. That they're in the ground. I think cicadas are maybe crawling in the ground alive for X amount of years. I think that these creatures were just in hibernation, and they have to get up and feed now. and then once they've fed, and this is stretching it a little bit, but for there to be a part 2, because I haven't seen that movie in a long time. One was smarter than the other ones that got away, but it had enough time to get pregnant, so that's how it leads into number 2.
Now, part 2, they're not slugs anymore. They're like little dinosaur. They're outside of the ground. They look like in The Mandalorian, those aliens that he rides.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought there were some underground ones in number 2.
There might be. Maybe they're like going through an evolutionary process, but I like that. It's like the locusts that come out and feed on the plants. Yeah. I like that. Now, question is that where they went with it in the sequels? Because I got to imagine they couldn't help themselves but ruin this whole concept in the sequels. I'm sure there has to be one where it's like, the explanation of where they came from. Are they aliens? Is that a possibility?
I don't know.
Like I was saying, alien on Earth.
Yes, alien on Earth. Yes, alien, only not scary at all.
Yeah,
and way funnier, but
yeah, way easier to figure out.
Right. Well, there was the other fun things in this movie that like they're so stupid, but it's just a blast. It's like there's a scene in this where they're having to go they have to escape, and the only way to do it is to be on these boulders, right? So they're like pogo sticking. They just happen to have like these long, like, javelin stick looking things. What were those from? What were they
from her truck?
From her truck.
To do with her research, I think.
Got it. So
no, they were trying to get to her truck, so they were from the guy's truck.
No, they just picked it off the side of the rock.
That's what I thought. But were they just there?
Yeah, they were just there.
Either way, they get on them and they go from rock to rock. They make it all the way to the truck. There's a fun little scene where she has to dive in head first and like hit the gas with her hand. So that was fun.
See, I didn't catch that part where she put her hand on the gas. I was like, how is she driving if her feet are sticking out the window?
Yes, of course. I thought of that too, but you know what? Who gives a shit? Right?
Yeah, she dove in and just pressed the gas, or she stumbled to start it, and then just slammed on the gas with her hand.
Right, at that point, yeah, who cares? Although I guess they kind of had her just going straight. So
yeah, right. What
there were, I thought the buildings lasted a little long, maybe. I mean, I don't know. You can complain about this movie, but it's just fun. It's just fun. There's the script I like because it gets everything out of the way at the beginning. You've got, all them driving around, trying to get out of town, get into the different spots, up roads closed. They can't go here, can't go there. I can't get out of this goddamn town, So that's a fun concept that they're just like stuck there. There's a scene at the beginning where it's like, oh, we're going to leave. And then the lady offers them beer and they're tempted to stay. Free beer, So I thought it was really, really good. I'm glad he picked it. Now here's the thing is he's not here to pick the next movie. So what are we doing here?
But should that be a rule that you can't pick 2 in a row?
Oh, I don't know. I kind of I kind of like the idea of a streak, though.
Yeah,
it's true.
Yeah, that seems like a fun idea.
Yeah, I don't know. He's not here, so he's not picking anyway. So we can decide that next week, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess. What do you guys want to do here? Is it fast enough? Like, can we sync our rock paper scissors? Is that even possible to do, or?
I don't know.
I think so. Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah, sure.
Now are we going to go on shoot?
I was just going to say, no, I've always been a rock, paper, go on scissors guy personally.
All right.
So, all
right.
Ready?
Yeah.
Rock, paper, scissors. Look at that. See, all of us. Ready?
Yeah.
Rock, paper, scissors. What'd you go with, Derek?
Scissors.
Okay, so you pick.
There you go.
And even if you're not here, we have to watch whatever movie you said.
I made a post about this recently, and you and Alex commented about it.
Oh, geez.
So, National Treasure.
National Treasure with Nicolas Cage?
Yeah.
Oh, you're killing me.
Because I want to hear your thoughts on it.
Okay. I haven't seen it in a long time. I told you I like Diane Kruger.
Yeah.
But
2004.
National Treasure, 2004. That's when it's from.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the second one I think was 2007.
Oh, are you the expert on National Treasure?
Well,
Oh,
we talked about it on a recent episode, so that's the only reason I know.
What? Hold on. What did you guys like? What brought you into the National Treasure? Like, what had you? Did you just randomly watch it, or?
No, a third one is in the talks.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. National Treasure. Paul, are you ready to watch National Treasure or what?
I'm all on board. If you're aiming for next weekend, I'm on call, so I'll be 50-50. But
okay. Well, hopefully Michael can, show up. Otherwise, it'll be just hopefully me and Derek. I don't know if Derek ever wants to come back again.
Yeah. This was fun.
Yeah, sweet. Well, I guess I will, again, give you guys a chance to, say goodbye. This show probably would have lasted longer if my co-host, cared about me and showed up for the show. But yeah, Paul, go ahead.
Yeah, again, I'm with coupleofdudes.com. We have a lot of comic articles and some cool stuff to check out if you're into that genre. Monday nights at 9:30, we have a podcast called Tales from the Flip Side, where we just kind of a couple guys at a bar kind of thing, and come be the fly on the wall and hear us talk about whatever, shoot the breeze, and join us on the live chat and go from there. So check us out live on YouTube and on iTunes and all that good stuff.
Sweet. Thank you, Paul. Derek?
And my name's Derek. I'm from Poolside Podcast. You can find us on Spotify, iTunes, all that stuff. Also, all social media. We talk about music, movies, TV shows, and video games, things like that. And check us out.
Sweet. And I'm Jackson, boredandanoid.com. You can find us. From there, you can find us pretty much on any podcast platform. I'm going to try doing more video content now that I can set up this live stream. That way I have an excuse not to learn how to edit. I can just get on here and do that. My co-host does the editing. I'm just the guy who talks too much. So, but yeah, thank you for watching. And National Treasure next week. And Michael, I would expect would be here. If he can't make it, we will reschedule it. So yeah, All
right, cool.
But yeah, thank you, Derek, for sticking us with the National Treasure.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear your all's thoughts. And one last thought on Tremors. If there was to be a new one come out, it would be called Cult of Tremors. And it'd just be a bunch of devil worshipping people that worship these tremors, and they summon them.
That actually sounds fun.
Yeah.
No, actually, you know what? Screw it. Before we go, do we know? Are they still making these? Is this something that is continuing? Is there one right now? Paul's the guy. He's the one who's looking all this shit up as we go. Thank you, Paul.
No problem. Tremors. Wait a minute. It already exists.
Tremors 7
on the set. Wait a minute. Tremors 7 start of production announcement coming in 2020 called Island Fury.
Okay. All right.
According to a quick Google search with
I feel like this is one that's ripe for a reboot, like a big budget reboot.
It's like TV movie, so I don't think so.
Right, exactly. But I feel like this is one where it's is anyone going to be mad if they reboot Tremors? Would they be offended?
I don't think so.
No. Are there people that are like that? Are there huge Tremors fans that would get pissed if, it'll never be as good as the original? Okay, that can be true, but get a grip. It's Tremors, right? Or could a Tremors movie make money? The Meg made money. So I think the Meg made money.
Here's an idea. Have Kevin Bacon come back. And then this time he's the older guy.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
Yeah, he's the Han Solo in The Force Awakens.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right. Yeah, no, you do a soft reboot, you bring both of them back. We do the thing where 2 through 7 never happened,
Right.
And yeah, there is an appetite. The Meg made $530 million on a $130 million budget. So a big dumb monster movie can make money. The soft reboot of Tremors. Now, I feel like maybe this is the time because Kevin Bacon, he's not quite what he used to be, right? Like you don't see him.
He's right for a movie or
well, he needs something big. He's got, I think he had a cop show on Showtime recently. He had that show on Fox, The Following.
Yeah.
But he's not killing it these days. No offense to Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, I think the last big thing that I really remember seeing him in was X-Men First Class.
That's right.
I was so surprised he's in that movie. I had no idea. I had no clue. And he popped on the screen. I was in the theater and I just kind of smiled. Some guy in the theater burst out laughing because he's just like he didn't expect it either. It's like there's Kevin Bacon. Like,
was he correctly cast in that? Like, I feel like maybe he was a little. He didn't take it as seriously as you'd hope, in my opinion. Not to mention, I just get annoyed by the fact that they have him in Magneto's helmet. Like that's the origin of Magneto's helmet. That just drives me nuts. But that's me getting a little too nerdy. But yeah, I mean, Paul, you're a comic book guy. Does that make any sense in the realm of the comic book world? Out of curiosity,
which part?
The fact that Magneto's helmet was some helmet that Kevin Bacon owned. No, I wouldn't think so.
It's always been a helmet that I think actually, and I could be wrong, I think that when they were friends, that Charles Xavier helped make the helmet.
Sure, that would make sense.
And like, I trust you. Like this, I cannot read your thoughts when you have this helmet on. I could be wrong, but I think that's the history of it. Is they actually? I think that's it.
It was like a level of trust that he was giving. Yeah, no, I liked. Yeah, it made more sense. I feel like in the first movie of that series, like X-Men, just regular X-Men, that it's mentioned that Magneto has the helmet, like it was designed purely to stop Professor X from reading his mind. I could have sworn. But that out of any franchise there is messing with timelines and screwing up all the canon, I feel like that one's the king of it because every time a new movie comes out, something doesn't make sense anymore. It's like Transformers kind of. But yeah, all right, though that's not Tremors talk. That's Kevin Bacon talk. Yeah, I mean, favorite Kevin Bacon movie, I guess, before we go. That'll be how we end. Favorite Kevin Bacon thing ever.
I haven't seen too many Kevin Bacon movies, to be honest, so I don't feel like I can answer.
Oh, come on. You've seen 6 Degrees to Kevin Bacon. Everyone has, right?
Your favorite one isn't Footloose?
Oh, Footloose. That's a good one. I would probably go with I'm actually cheating a little bit here. I'm just looking at, I like Wild Things. Big Wild Things fan. But yeah, and not because you see his genitals either. That's not why I like the movie. So you guys can stop now. But hey, thank you so much for joining. Next week, National Treasure.
Looking forward to it.
I'm sure everyone is, Derek. I'm sure everyone's just dying to watch National Treasure.
Hey, everyone loves Nicolas Cage.
He's on a resurgence.
Yeah, he is. I'm not sure if you knew this, but he's wanting to actually start directing instead.
Please let it happen. But yeah, all right. Hey, thank you everyone for tuning in. I was about to do the Spock thing again, Paul, but this isn't a Star Trek show. But yeah, live long and prosper, people. Go watch Tremors 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Get ready for 7.
And get ready for 7 on the Sci-Fi channel next year. I'm guessing. But all right, have a good night, everybody.
See you guys.